Hello everyone and welcome back to our reading of Ghosts from the Great Mystery series. Today's chapter, At the Moment of Death. Let's get started. There is a kind of ghost that appears only once, hundreds of which have been seen by respectable witnesses. They are the ghosts that occur at the moment when a person dies. Sometimes the spectre is seen by someone who is very close to the dying person. On other occasions, the ghost seems to wander to a place which it particularly liked when alive. Though these ghosts seem to be rather common, it is very difficult for researchers to investigate them. From their nature, these phantoms only appear once. All researchers can do is talk to witnesses and collect information. From such work, it appears that these crisis apparitions have several features in common. They appear to be completely solid and real to the witness. Though the apparitions can walk and move, they seem unable to speak. It also seems that the crisis apparitions usually appear at the actual moment of death, but on some occasions the spirit is seen several hours or even days later. It has been suggested that the human mind is capable of projecting an image over vast distances to appear to loved ones or in certain places. Only moments of extreme danger seem able to trigger this ability, hence the term crisis apparition. A typical example occurred in the spring of 1890. A young woman was working as a maid in a large house many kilometers from her family home in Grimsby. Early one morning, as she was crossing the hall, the maid saw her father. He was standing in the room dressed in his oilskins, dripping with water. As the startled girl was about to ask her father what he was doing so far from home, the father vanished. The girl collapsed in tears, convinced that something terrible had happened. A few days later, news arrived that her father, a fisherman, had been drowned at sea. Such phantoms do not appear only to relatives and loved ones. The ghost of Robert Bowes seems to have been roaming the countryside he loved so much. Rather more famous was the Phantom Admiral, who visited his home in 1893. On June 22nd, 1893, Lady Tryon was holding a party for some friends in her house in Belgravia, London. Some of the guests were surprised to see Admiral Sir George Tryon walk into the room and then leave. He was supposed to be on his ship, HMS Victoria, in the Mediterranean at the time. In fact, the Admiral was already dead, having drowned when his ship sank off the Syrian coast. For some reason, Admiral Tryon had given orders which put the Victoria on collision course with HMS Camperdown. The captain of the Camperdown watched with amazement. He assumed that Tryon had some special plan in mind. By the time the astounded captain realized that his ship would collide with the Victoria, it was too late. The two warships smashed together and the Victoria sank with a loss of 359 men. The activities of these strange ghosts are not confined to people and places. It seems that a dying person can be concentrating on almost anything. Earlier this century, the framed certificate of qualification of a midwife in Liverpool fell off the wall of her house the very moment that she died. Further removed from the typical crisis apparition seen at the moment of death is the strange ghost of Ballachulish House, Scotland. For some years around the turn of the century, Balachulish was haunted by a phantom lady who roamed through the house at night. The ghost was very quiet and caused little trouble. Meanwhile, Lady Bolton, the wife of a well-known historian, was having a series of strange dreams. Each dream was the same. She found herself wandering through a house which she did not know. So often did Lady Bolton have this dream that she came to know the dream house very well. One day, Sir Harold and Lady Bolton visited Balachulish house to research some historical event. As they approached the house, Lady Bolton realized that it was her dream house. She was able to lead her husband through the rooms, although she had never been there before. At the same time, the staff at Balachulish recognized Lady Bolton as their mysterious ghost. It seems that Lady Bolton had been somehow projecting her image to Balachulish. Very fascinating, but did Lady Bolton die not long after? It doesn't really say. In which case it makes it very different from the rest of these. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll see you all next time. See ya!